So I got back into the hobby this past October, and a big topic of current issues and current events right now is the accessibility to the hobby and to get product and to pretty much have a good experience within this hobby for newcomers. So I'm gonna let you know my experience. So I no longer have this card, I moved it, but I got back into the hobby with a flash in the frying pan, my friends. First thing I opened up was going to be a Donruss 2024 pack of NFL. It was a fat pack, and I hit a Jayden Daniels Downtown, which I will show here. Immediately after that, I bought a couple of the holiday packs it was the holiday tins, I believe, for Mosaic. And I hit a Travis Hunter auto. My first two openings were hot. And I thought to myself, why doesn't everybody do this? This is super easy, and I'm making a ton of money already from the first two things I opened. I was in for a not so pleasant surprise.
Gotcha, bitch!
The hobby was definitely setting me a trap, but let me talk about what even brought me back in the first place. So back in the day, my parents bought me a 12-card oversized set of Michael Jordan called, I think it was A Legend Is Born, and it's a super cool set going from his rookie year up to, I think it's about 1998, and I'll put that in the picture also right here. Check it out. But while I was pondering about it, I asked my parents where it could be, and it turns out I had it at my house the whole time. And that just got me wondering, so what else is out there today? Don't know why it came across my mind, but it did. And it made me curious as to what else could be out there, so I bought some cards. And around that same time, I saw a bunch of ads for Whatnot, which is another story in itself. What I assumed the hobby to be, just a bunch of cards and a bunch of dudes sitting in a shop somewhere trying to figure everything out and price them out, maybe trading and stuff like that, is not quite what I came to. Not back to, but came to, right? Whatnot was running rampant, and I thought, oh, okay, this must be the place to go. Little did I know that that's not the most effective bang for your buck. While fun, I had a ton of fun, not the most effective bang for buck for what you want to be looking for. I immediately decided to set myself up a hobby budget, which I barely abided by, which at the very least is frowned upon. So I started jumping in Whatnot streams. I started buying whatever box I could find out there in the stores, and I was overspending. I was paying secondary market for stuff because I didn't know any better. I thought, oh, I can just find whatever's on Amazon and move from there. Well, that's not the most effective way. So I figured out pretty quickly I need to be more picky with where I'm buying these products, and I need to be probably more picky with what I'm looking at on Whatnot and whose pages I'm looking at on Whatnot. I started looking into some local shops in my area. I found some favorites, and I was a little intimidated on approaching them, so I kind of just like approached, and I'd be like, hey, would you take this? And I didn't really go anywhere further with the conversation besides, this card looks cool. Can I look at the dollar bins? Stuff like that. I didn't do trades. I just honestly bought a couple value cards that I could find. And I decided to stay away from the box products there because they were kind of overpriced for at least for my liking in that point. Now, I had no idea about how to get into the ground level for product drops. I had no idea how to get onto Panini and figure out when stuff is dropping. I had no idea about the Topps products because Topps didn't even have the license at that point. I think they just got the license for NBA, but there's still plenty of Panini product for me to open up. And I had a hard time figuring out how can I get stuff besides going to go look on store shelves in my Walmart, in my Target, or on Shields.com.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
And breaking became a form of getting access to some of these products. I don't recommend that being new. I recommend learning the products first before you decide to jump in on breaking, because then you can kind of figure out if you've got a good price or a not so good price. Upon figuring out what stores to go to, what websites to go to, and figuring out other parts of the hobby as far as retail hunting and stuff like that and breaking, I tried my hand at grading. First case that I got, I was like, why not send it? I pretty much got this card for about, it was $13 for the fat pack. Let me go ahead and see if I can get a good grade off of it. It came back not in my favor. I got a near mint 8 on the Jayden Daniels Downtown, but still spent $13 on that, and it was a flip. I lost about maybe $40, 80. It was $80 on the grade, and I still came up net positive on that specific card. Now, the next challenge was figuring out how to move something like that. I had to go ahead and do some research into finding out, how can I price this? What is somebody going to want to buy this at? When I tried to move it raw before I graded it, I felt I was getting lowballed, and that was during the time when he was getting injured in the NFL season, so his market was coming down. I had an offer that I should have took earlier, and I didn't take it. After I got it graded, though, that made it a little bit more liquid, a little bit more eyes were getting on the card, but I had a lot of offers underneath what I felt was a fair market price. And the price I ultimately agreed on was a little under. I believe it was right around $600 or $650 when my original asking price was around $700. And before that, I was asking for, I think it was up to $900, and somebody had offered me $750 or $800 before, and I should have took that one, but I didn't, because that was before he was starting to get injured and stuff like that, and I really wanted to chase getting the most bang for my buck for that. Got greedy. Now here I am still trying to figure it out. I'm a little bit more selective with the product I buy. I kind of go with the product that drops, and I try to find it at the drops on their websites. But I now am looking for my collector identity. I am a hybrid between a seller and a collector. I collect my guys and I sell everything else. And I tend to think most people are that kind of collector when it comes to this hobby. If you're not having an intake within the hobby, it's going to be hard, especially with the price of how these boxes are and all these singles are right now. It's going to be hard to maintain and sustain that level of involvement in the community without selling something. My guys are Bears and Bulls. Derrick Rose is probably my number one. And then after that, I tend to lean towards Brian Urlacher and Caleb Williams. But I will take any Bear, I will take any Bull. I'm starting to get really into Colston Loveland and Kyle Munungai. But Rose was kind of my first, that's one of the ones I'm going after. I'm chasing a whole wall of roses right now. I call it my rose garden. And thanks to Tyler's Ripperama, appreciate you for that name, that insight. But Rose was the meaningful one for me, and also pretty affordable, seeing as my other option is Michael Jordan, and that is not cheap. The toughest learning curve for me is definitely how to buy smart. My first instinct was buy packs. That's paying off for me early out the gate. That did not equal success in the long run, for sure. So now I need to learn. Boxes are honestly for my content now. And whatever I get, a lot of times I end up trading or I end up gifting to friends in the community, or I'll sell if it's a bigger one. And PC, the ones that are my guys, of course. Now I'm leaning towards buying boxes that I can kind of, like a bulk of boxes. I'll flip some boxes to be able to cover my rip, or I will buy singles that I believe in. I'm tending to lean more towards singles now. For my PC, I need to start getting smart about buying singles on what I need to try to grade and reinvest into the future, maybe even possibly flip. That's kind of where I'm heading towards now. Now, a problem I'm fighting now is, let me go ahead and get myself out of the hole that I put myself in with trying to buy on the rip or on the flip, right? So that's the thing now is, instead of making me pay more out of personal funds to get out of this hole, I'm trying to use hobby money to get out of the hole first. Then I'm going to go ahead and start being more aggressive on my buys as far as, hey, what's something I can invest in to get a longer profit or something like that. What I'm learning now is, as far as sealed product goes, Pokemon is super lucrative in that. Whether you keep it or decide to resell it in order to cover what you want to open, very lucrative in that. It's honestly helping a lot with the sports funds right now and getting out of the hole. But the problem is we collect, so there's some that we want to keep as well. And sports is a little bit tougher. You have to go with the hot product, that's for sure. Sadly, it's taking longer than expected. Looks like I'm gonna have to start reinvesting what I have from my original budget into getting out of the hole, which is fine. And the hobby said, you know what, you want to flip the sealed product? That's cute. Let's go ahead and make some adjustments to that and make that less lucrative. But it's okay. We're working it out. Biggest takeaway from this, for sure, is going to be the card community. I have gotten involved with the card community that is constantly looking out for each other, sending stuff to each other, whether it's something to give a sale at a great price of something they ripped, whether it's just to gift them out or just to check in on people. I get phone calls now from these people just to say, hey man, how are you doing? And I try to return the favor as well as much as possible, because life be lifing. But due to making this content right now with PeaksPulls as my platform, thanks to getting involved with this hobby and getting involved with this community, I now have a platform. I have found a supportive community, and there's a bunch of other small creators where we are just supporting each other. And I've also kind of dabbled into a second form of getting involved, and that's doing editing work for other videos and other channels, which, by the way, shameless plug, here I go. I will do editing for you guys if you deem that you would like to give me a shot. And yeah, I'll give you a fair price. I'll let you know, for the first month, this is where I'll be at. And yeah, I'd love it. Let's feel each other out. Let's do it. But the hobby's getting more fun. The community's getting more involved. And I could not imagine, my point right now in life where I wasn't getting involved in something like this. It is a great outlet. That could be changing shortly because of a move I'll be taking. I'll be getting more operational at work instead of working from home. So it'll be a little less, but I'm still wanting to stay involved and put out content for everyone to enjoy. Ultimately, I'm saying all this just to tell you all that the hobby is now bigger than opening that pack and hoping for a case hit. I am more involved. I am more invested. And I want to do this more for the long run and sustain it. And I want to get my kids inspired to, maybe not this, but hey, dad's got a hobby. Maybe I should get a hobby. If it's sports cards, if it's any kind of collectible cards, dude, I'm down.
Hey, that's pretty good.
That's my experience. Now, is the hobby welcoming to new collectors? The community is. I think the community 100% is. They look out for each other. But I do think it's open to the money as far as the hobby is concerned.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, 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 money.
The industry side of the hobby, it is open to your dollar bills. It is not open to your better interest. You need to find out what that is yourself and then quickly act upon it, because very quickly this hobby and this industry will prey upon your wallet, will prey upon your excitement and your fear of missing out, 100%. I was deeply concerned with the upcoming transition from multiple, products being put out to now Topps owns the license for everything. And very soon, in 2031, they're even gonna have football. But being that is concerned, I've noticed a difference right now. They're putting out more products. They're putting out more boxes at a retail level to open, and I appreciate that. I think that's going to be I think that is a ingredient to success for them in the future. Having a lot of hobby-only products is going to exclude a big portion of people from buying into these products. And I'm still figuring out, but new people to the hobby, talk out to people, reach out to people in the card community. There's a lot of people, and if you're in our Discord server, there's a lot of people in our Discord server that are welcoming, and they will try to help you out, let you know, hey, look, here's a product that just dropped, jump in. And shameless plug for that Discord server, link will be down below. Please join in and just, abide by the rules and be cool, basically. But if you want to reach out to me, I don't know a lot. I'm learning, but I have no problem talking to you about it as well. And yeah, I would love to invite you and welcome you into this card community and this Discord server for sure. And I'll leave you with this. This hobby is getting very good at marketing. There are so much commercials on and so much ads for the excitement, for the thrill of the case hit. But there is no commercial for the patience, for the research and the singles markets and the listings and how to avoid bad products or how to research into good products. That's something that you're going to have to reach out to and do some research on your own. Can't find that on a commercial. Now here's the closing. I love the hobby. I love the community. I love the chase, and I love chasing for PC stuff and the feeling of getting a great card, whether I hit it or whether someone gifts it, whether I buy it. It can't be, paralleled. But I also understand that new collectors, there's a level of accessibility to knowledge that we need. And we don't necessarily get it unless we actively pursue it. I think we could be better about putting that out for sure. And I think, honestly, with the monopolization of tops, I think they need to. I think they should be mandatory to be able to provide some of this, intelligence out to the community. I really do. And there will be follow-ons. There's going to be follow-ons to this series. It's going to be about that. It's going to be about my experience specifically and what I've learned and what I still want to learn or need to learn and where I think the hobby is kind of trending. And along with that, the next episode, we're probably going to link more into the retail access, because finding cards, it shouldn't be I need to camp out. I need to camp out at Walmart to be able to find these things. There should be a better way to do this. But anyway, thank you so much for checking us out. This is going to be a first in kind of like our current events and my experience in hunting these products and learning this hobby. But yeah, I can't wait for the next one. Like, comment, subscribe, please. It's going to help me out so much. We're on our way to 300. And once we hit that 300, you have your option of those slabs. It's either going to be over here, we have our Patrick Ewing slab, or it's going to be our Bo Nix slab for whichever fan of the sport that you are involved with. But hey, thanks again so much. And my friends, we'll see you next time. Join the climb.